Have you ever heard that forgiveness is only for the weak? What if I told you that this common belief is completely misguided and that forgiveness is actually the key to unimaginable strength? Today, we will unveil one of the most controversial mysteries, what Jesus really wrote on the ground and how this simple act can completely transform your life. Why did Jesus write in the sand? This simple yet powerful act unlocks teachings about forgiveness and divine justice, essential for our spiritual and daily lives. Don't miss any details of our upcoming videos, as each one is a key to better understanding not only the scriptures, but also how to apply them practically and meaningfully in our lives. Leave your like, subscribe, and join us on this revealing exploration. Your journey of transformation begins here. During the Feast of Tabernacles, a significant event on the Jewish calendar, a dramatic scene unfolds as described in the Gospel of John chapter 8 verses 4 and 5. Religious leaders known as Pharisees present Jesus with a woman caught in adultery. They place her before the crowd and accuse her, invoking the law of Moses, which prescribed the death penalty by stoning for such transgression. The question they ask him is loaded with tension. "Teacher, this woman has been caught in the act of adultery. Moses commands us to stone such women. What do you say?" This question was not just a test of knowledge of the law, but a skillfully disguised political and ethical trap. Imagine the scene. Jesus, surrounded by eager accusers, faces an apparently impossible choice. If he agreed to the stoning, he would be violating Roman law, which prohibited Jews from executing anyone without Roman approval. On the other hand, rejecting the punishment prescribed by Moses could be seen as a disavowal of the Mosaic law, risking alienating those who strictly followed these precepts. Each option carried grave consequences, potentially damaging to his ministry and his life. Yet Jesus' response is both sublime and revolutionary. He stoops down and writes on the ground. This act, mysterious and open to interpretation, demonstrates his refusal to play the Pharisees' game. As he stands up, he challenges the crowd with a simple yet profound demand. "Let him who is without sin among you be the first to throw a stone at her." With these words, Jesus not only shifts the focus from judging the woman, but forces each individual to face their own flaws and sins. This narrative is not just an episode of legal or religious confrontation. It's a powerful lesson about mercy, judgment, and forgiveness. Instead of condemning the woman, Jesus invites her to repentance and a new life, telling her, "Go and sin no more." This approach reveals the essence of Jesus' message, which values human redemption and transformation above strict adherence to laws that, when devoid of compassion, lose their true purpose. Thus, this biblical account goes beyond a mere legal debate. It challenges conventions, questions intentions, and transforms hearts. In a society that often seeks punishment as a form of justice, Jesus presents an alternative path marked by forgiveness and the opportunity for renewal. The drama of this episode lies not only in the imminent conflict, but in Jesus' innovative ability to transform a moment of potential violence into an opportunity for grace. He invites us to reflect on how we respond to others' mistakes and the importance of offering second chances, not just as an act of kindness, but as an imperative for true justice. In one of the most dramatic and eloquent episodes of the New Testament, we find Jesus facing a moral and ethical challenge that transcends the ages. The scene takes place during his journey on earth, specifically narrated in the Gospel of John chapter 8 verse 7. Religious leaders, represented by Pharisees and scribes, bring before him a woman accused of adultery, seeking not just a judgment but a trap to compromise his mission and authority. Jesus' response to the accusation is one of the most impactful moments in the Bible. "Let he who is without sin among you be the first to throw a stone at her." This phrase is not just a defense of the woman, but a profound critique of the methods and motivations of the religious leaders of the time. Jesus, with a simple sentence, exposes the hypocrisy of the accusers, challenging the punitive mindset and revealing a deeper understanding of the law of Moses, which they claim to uphold. The reaction of the accusers is gradual and revealing. Starting with the elders, one by one they disperse, leaving the woman alone with Jesus. This detail of the elders withdrawing first can be interpreted as a sign of recognition of their own failures and sins accumulated over the years. The wisdom of age may have made them realize the depth of Jesus' lesson before the younger ones. What this moment teaches is significant and transformative. Jesus' position not only challenges the social and religious norms of his time, he redefines the concept of justice and mercy. Instead of condemning the woman, Jesus encourages her to follow a different path. Go and sin no more. This directive is not just a pardon, it is an invitation to repentance and life change, emphasizing that the true function of the law should be reform, not retribution. Furthermore, the scene raises a critique of the religious leaders, Pharisees and scribes, who, despite their ostensive adherence to laws of purity and ritual, fail to capture and embody the deeper essence of the law, compassion and humanity. Jesus' approach illuminates the discrepancy between the external observance of the law and the internal justice of the heart, questioning the moral and spiritual priorities of those who consider themselves guardians of religiosity. This episode does not merely challenge contemporary listeners and readers to reassess their own perceptions of justice and mercy. It also serves as a powerful reminder of the capacity for change and redemption. Jesus' demeanor is a call to reflection on how we judge and treat others, encouraging a more loving and empathetic approach in human interactions, resonating with a message of forgiveness and hope that is both sensational and universally relevant. In the context of the Gospel of John, chapters 8, verses 10 and 11, we witness one of the most touching and profound moments of the biblical narrative. Jesus, after challenging the accusers with his wisdom and compassion, turns his attention to the woman at the center of the controversy. The setting is charged with emotion and tension, revealing not only the nature of the religious and social conflict of the time, but also offering deep insights into the nature of the law, forgiveness, and justice. After the accusers have dispersed one by one in response to Jesus' challenge, "Let he who is without sin among you be the first to throw a stone at her," only the woman accused remains in Jesus' presence. He then stands and asks a question that resonates with meaning. "Where are they? Has no one condemned you?" The woman's reply, "No one, Lord," sets the stage for one of the most liberating teachings of Jesus. "Neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more." These words not only absolve the woman from her immediate condemnation, but also offer her a new chance at life, marked by the possibility of transformation and redemption. This episode illustrates Jesus' critique of the application of the law of Moses by the Pharisees. While they focused on applying the law strictly, often neglecting the spirit of mercy and understanding that should accompany its fulfillment, Jesus demonstrates a deeper understanding of the law, centered on forgiveness and the opportunity for repentance. By writing on the ground, Jesus not only disconcerts his opponents but also symbolizes his authority and superior discernment, thus questioning the rigid and often punitive interpretations of the religious leaders. Jesus' action, therefore, is not just an act of mercy isolated. It is a powerful statement about human flaws and the redemptive nature of forgiveness. He challenges those present and future readers of the Gospel to reflect on the true essence of the laws that govern their lives and to prioritize love and compassion over judgment and condemnation. This account is impactful and sensational not only because of its dramatic nature but because it speaks to the heart of the human condition, to our need for compassion and our capacity for change. Jesus, through his words and actions, offers an alternative path to that of retribution, a path of hope, renewal, and above all, unconditional love. He motivates everyone to consider not only how they apply the laws but how they live their lives, encouraging a practice of empathy and forgiveness that transcends eras and continues to resonate deeply in hearts and minds through the centuries. In the biblical narratives that address the life and teachings of Jesus, there are moments that capture attention not only through what is said but also through what is done. One such enigmatic moment is described in the Gospel of John chapter 8, where Jesus finds himself in a situation that challenges not only his wisdom, but also his ability to navigate the treacherous waters of legal and religious disputes of his time. The scene involves a woman accused of adultery and a group of Pharisees and scribes who use her as a test for Jesus. The specifics of what Jesus wrote on the ground remain one of the great mysteries of the Scriptures. Historians and theologians have extensively debated the meaning and purpose of this gesture. Why then would Jesus choose to stoop down and write in the earth at such a moment of tension? This action can be seen as a deliberate strategy to divert attention from the immediate confrontation, giving time both for him and for his accusers to reflect on the seriousness of the situation. More dramatically, by writing on the ground, Jesus not only confounds his adversaries but also creates a moment of theatrical suspense. This act can be interpreted as a way to question the foundations of the law that the accusers were using to judge the woman. At the same time, he exposes the hypocrisy of the Pharisees and scribes who, although strict in their adherence to the letter of the law, often failed to understand its spirit, which should be of mercy and understanding. This incident is not just a confrontation about legal interpretation or a debate about morality. It is a profound exposition of the human condition. By challenging those who were ready to condemn the woman, "Let he who is without sin among you be the first to throw a stone at her," Jesus not only defends the accused but also highlights a universal truth about human fallibility and the need for compassion. The passage emphasizes that everyone is susceptible to error and that judgment should be left to the divine. Through this account, Jesus not only challenges the social and legal norms of his time, but also offers a powerful and timeless message about forgiveness. The story invites each of us to reflect on our own flaws and the way we judge others. More than that, it encourages us to practice mercy and seek redemption both for ourselves and for others. Therefore, this biblical moment is not merely an episode within a religious context. It is a lesson on the essence of humanity and the transformative power of forgiveness. It invites us to rethink our actions and intentions, recognizing that, like those Pharisees and scribes, we all face the temptation to judge without fully understanding the complexity of human circumstances. It dramatizes the urgency of adopting a more compassionate perspective in our journey through life, highlighting the importance of love and forgiveness as foundations for a more just and empathetic society. In the context of the New Testament, specifically in the Gospel of John chapter 8, we witness one of the most intriguing episodes in the life of Jesus. Here, Jesus not only faces a legal and ethical challenge presented by the Pharisees, but also delivers a deeply meaningful response that resonates through the ages as an emblematic example of justice combined with mercy. By choosing to write on the ground in the face of the Pharisees' accusation against a woman caught in adultery, Jesus demonstrates an approach to justice that transcends the strict application of the law. This act of writing, though mysterious and not spelled out in the scriptures as to its content, serves as a dramatic pause in the confrontation, allowing all present, including the accusers and the crowd, to reflect on the gravity of what is at stake. As he stands and challenges the onlookers with the phrase, "Let he who is without sin among you be the first to throw a stone at her," Jesus not only disperses the accusing crowd, but also distills a powerful message about the need for introspection and compassion before passing judgment. Jesus' response is not just a rejection of the cruel punishment proposed by the Pharisees, but also a lesson on divine forgiveness, which aims not to condemn but to restore and renew human life. Instead of endorsing the death sentence, he offers the woman a chance for redemption and a new life, symbolizing the divine approach to human error, focused on transformation and genuine repentance. Moreover, this episode underlines the ongoing confrontation between Jesus and the religious leaders, particularly regarding obedience to the law of Moses. When challenged with the situation of the adulterous woman, Jesus uses the moment not only to save her life but also to expose the hypocrisy of the religious leaders. He highlights that while they cling to the letter of the law, they fail to understand and practice the spirit behind it, which is inherently based on mercy and understanding. Thus, this encounter serves not only as a teaching moment about the nature of justice and forgiveness, but also as a turning point that challenges established precepts and religious practices of the time. Through this act, Jesus reaffirms his commitment to a type of justice that recognizes human fallibility and emphasizes redemption and the possibility of a new direction in life, contrasting sharply with the notions of irreversible punishment and unyielding condemnation that prevailed among the Jewish leaders of that period. This narrative, rich in drama and teaching, invites all readers to deep reflection on their own attitudes towards error, judgment, and the power of forgiveness. Jesus' engagement in this moment is not merely about navigating a legal dilemma, it's about illustrating a broader truth. His refusal to condemn the woman and his invitation for her to start anew underscore a radical departure from conventional responses to sin and failure. His actions and words reveal a deeper ethos where law and compassion intersect, promoting a justice that heals rather than harms, and that seeks to restore rather than simply punish. This profound moment in the Gospel of John is emblematic of Jesus' overall ministry, which consistently challenged the norms and expectations of his time. His teachings and actions often turned societal norms on their heads, advocating for a kingdom where mercy prevails over judgment and where the least are seen as worthy of the greatest care. By writing in the dirt and sparing the woman, Jesus not only diffuses a volatile situation but also teaches a lesson about the power of grace and the importance of a second chance. The impact of this story extends beyond its immediate context to touch the hearts and minds of countless generations that have followed. It serves as a reminder that the spirit of the law should not be lost to its letter, and that true justice involves compassion and the possibility of redemption. Jesus' stance in this narrative calls us to consider how we apply the principles of justice and mercy in our own lives, urging us to look beyond the surface of wrongdoing to the deeper human story beneath. As we navigate the complexities of human relationships and societal norms, this episode from the Gospel of John offers a blueprint for a more humane approach to dealing with transgressions. It encourages us to ask ourselves how we can embody the qualities of mercy, forgiveness, and love that Jesus demonstrated so vividly. In a world often quick to judge and slow to forgive, this story is a beacon of hope, reminding us of the transformative power of compassion and the enduring relevance of offering others not just judgment, but a chance for renewal and change. In summary, this encounter between Jesus and the woman accused of adultery, the Pharisees, and the gathered crowd is not just a historical anecdote, but a pivotal teaching on the essence of divine justice infused with mercy. By choosing to write on the ground and then verbally sparing the woman, Jesus lays down a challenge that reverberates through the ages, to live out a justice that is tempered with mercy and understanding, offering to everyone the grace that he extended to the woman. This moment is a powerful call to rethink our approaches to justice and to embody the compassion that is at the heart of true righteousness.